Not quite yet.
Hold on, I got a drink.
They saved the worst for last.
Let me get a drink. We're all getting a cocktail.
Yeah, get a drink. This is
That
going to
sounds
be a
like
little
I'm
loud.
sorry. Yes, last.
All right,
I know everybody wants
I'm
to sing
Jeff
it.
Clark. I'm Jake's older, much more handsome brother. For those of you that do know me, I actually made a pact tonight. I promise not to sing karaoke into this microphone.
He's talking about karaoke.
No. I'm going to talk about Megan first. One of the best parts of getting to know Megan was actually discovering all of our differences. And we have many. Being me, I'm from Fargo, Minnesota. Actually, Fargo's in North Dakota. But she was really the first person from the South that I got to know. I sort of lived a pretty isolated life up in the Twin Cities. I lived there my whole life. There's some things that'll never change. We've tried with her. We'll never get her to call a Coke or a soda a pop. In Minnesota, it's pop. There's all sorts of different kinds. All right. She'll always think it's weird to take your shoes off when you come into the house. In Minnesota, we all take our shoes off probably because of the bad weather and stuff. Best of all, Lindsay, I'm going to ask you a question. What is a toboggan? Megan, what's a toboggan? It's a hat in Georgia. It's a woman's hat. In Minnesota and in the rest of the world, it looks like a wooden bobsled. We use it in the wintertime to go down the hill. It's definitely not a hat, so. Okay. So anyways, we've got lots of differences, but we've had fun with them over the years. And it's funny because if you'd have asked me to come up with a list of differences 7 years ago, I could have went on for 2 hours. She's assimilated. She's a Minnesotan, halfway, and I struggle like crazy to try to find a list of things because we're used to her. Another thing I love about Megan is her reaction when I give her a hard time, and I do it often. I'm one of those people, I give you a hard time if I like you. So if I'm nice to you tonight, be careful. You can even ask my wife too, she'll agree with me. And she can attest, she says that I never listen. Something like that. Didn't work. Okay, one other example is I still do it. I wear Florida Gator gear over to their house during the Georgia Dogs game. But you know what's funny? Megan in her own way got me back. During Thanksgiving, these two were there. What do we do in Minnesota on Thanksgiving? Do we watch football?
Yeah!
I was forced to watch the National Dog Show on Thanksgiving Day. I mean, football in Minnesota on Thanksgiving is religion. We watch it. So she kind of got me back. Megan, I'm going to have to get you. I still haven't gotten you back for that one.
There is a dog show.
Bottom line, it's safe to say I liked Megan immediately. She really grew on me, but right away, she was darn interesting. Now, Jake and I, on the other hand, we weren't always close like we are now. If you didn't know us, you just met us recently, we get along pretty good. Not always the case. In fact, we were sibling rivals for over half our lives. Although we were only separated by 3 years apart, I being the elder, very often we were torn apart about every 3 minutes physically from being wrestling and punching each other in the mouth. I said wrestling. That's actually a southern word, by the way. It's not Minnesotan. We had a lot of squabbles. They started with words. They finished with blood and bruises. And we really didn't become friends until we were young adults, which is funny because right now, together, our better halves would say, we have the combined maturity of a 7th grader, especially when whiskey's involved. In the end, I couldn't ask for a better brother, and I'm blessed to be part of his life. All right, as most of you know, Jake and Megan came together from 2 distant places, very distant places, as I've tried to explain. They racked up an extraordinary amount of frequent flyer miles, traveling back and forth between Atlanta, 2 hours and 2 minutes, by the way. That's what it is. They basically rewrote the definition of the word commitment. There's another word synonymous with commitment, it's called marriage. Funny thing is that insanity typically results in commitment. Speaking of commitment, let me tell you a little something about Jake's first true commitment. There was this girl he used to date back in high school. Just kidding. I got him back for having to watch the dog show.
She turned around.
No. This one actually goes back way back to when we were little kids. Most kids have a favorite teddy bear, a blanket, a toy. Some kids even have imaginary friends. Not Jake, no way. His was way weirder. He used to have this, it was about 4 inches long, it was a little plastic, yellow toy saw. He carried this thing wherever he went. He was inseparable. He ate with it, slept with it, bathed with it, and even played Barbie dolls with it. He literally couldn't be without this thing. So here's my advice. Jake, if your commitment to Megan is even half of what you gave that saw, she's found a man that will truly cherish her, a man who will love her like no other, and a man that I'm proud to call my brother and best friend. Let's raise a toast. Here's to the bride with the groom so fair, and here's to the groom with the bride so rare. May you be friends to each other as only lovers can, and may you love each other as only best friends can. Love you both. Hoppa!
Should we get a hearsay?
Yeah.